Part 1. The power of no contact. She stopped replying. Maybe she said she needed space. Or maybe she disappeared without a word. Now you're left in silence, wondering if going no contact was a wise decision, or at the beginning of losing her forever. But here's the truth most men never hear. This silence isn't the end, it's your beginning. Every man who's ever cared too much or waited too long has faced this moment. The space between wanting her back and wanting yourself back more. No contact isn't weakness. It's not punishment, it's power. Not over her, but over yourself. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you stop chasing, when you step back in silence, something shifts. You're no longer reacting or pleading, you're resetting the energy. Richard, 52, recently divorced, tried everything: kindness, support, checking in. But the more he gave, the colder she became, until one day he stopped. No more calls, just silence. At first it felt like defeat. But no contact isn't a wall, it's a mirror. It reflects who you've become, who she no longer has access to. When you go silent with intention, not as a game, but as a reset, you create contrast. She starts to notice what's missing. Not because you chased, but because you stopped showing up as the man who needed her. Greg didn't go no contact to make her miss him. He used that silence to rebuild. He hit the gym, reconnected with friends, launched a side business he had delayed for years. No posts, no hints, just quiet growth. Weeks later, she reached out. Hey, just wondering how you've been. That wasn't random. That was resonance. Marcus Aurelius said the best. Revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In this case, the best transformation is to become unlike the man she walked away from. No contact only works when it's for you. If your only goal is to win her back, you've already lost yourself. But if your goal is clarity, confidence, and growth, you've already won. This isn't about silence as a tactic. It's about silence as a signal that you're no longer the man who begged. You're becoming the man she can't ignore. No contact isn't the finish line. It's the start of your rise, Seneca said. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. And the man who needs no validation becomes unforgettable. Part 2. Observe her first move. You've gone silent. You've held the line. Now the space is wide open. This is where most men fumble. She watches your story, likes a post, or sends a casual hey, and instantly they jump too fast too. Eager, and just like that, the quiet power they built crumbles. Her first moves aren't random. They're subtle tests. She may not say she misses you, but her presence or lack of it speaks volumes. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone proves me wrong, I shall gladly change. And in this moment, what proves a man wrong is his own reaction. Most guys chase the signal. Stoic men read it. They don't respond. They observe. They don't interpret instantly. They wait for clarity. Think of it like the wind before a sail. You don't set course on a breeze. You wait to understand its direction. The same applies here. Ask yourself, is she reaching out because she genuinely misses you? Or is she just checking if she still has access to you? A short message like, how have you been, isn't an invitation. It's a probe, a curiosity. React too fast, and she gets her answer yes. She still has you. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So don't react. Read. Wait. Let the pattern emerge. This silence isn't a void. It's data. And your strength lies in the patience to collect it without flinching. When a man doesn't react to the first ripple, he shifts the whole current. He builds mystery. And that's what draws her back, not neediness, but the unknown. She doesn't want the man who waits at the door. She wants the one who doesn't even look to see if she's knocking. Part 3. Reignite the attraction. You can't talk your way back into her heart. You can't text your way into her emotions. Attraction isn't rebuilt through reminders of the past. It's reignited through contrast, through evolution. Aurelius wrote, The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you keep thinking like the man she walked away from, you'll remain him. Let's talk about Charles. 54, divorced. He and Valerie had tension fights, emotional distance. One night she said, "I think we need a break." And for once, Charles didn't chase. He agreed and vanished. But he didn't just wait in silence. He got to work. No dramatic posts, no subtle signals. Just quiet change. He joined his old running group, attended a business retreat, got a fresh haircut, not for her, for himself. Days later, they bumped into each other at a grocery store. She looked him over and said, "You look different." That's the sound of reawakened interest. Not because he reminded her of what was, but because he became something new. Women feel energy shifts. They're drawn not to words, but to presence. If you come back looking and feeling the same, she won't feel a thing. But if your silence becomes growth, curiosity returns. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Don't waste your silence. Turn it into firewood. Build something real. What not to do. Don't flex online. Don't post gym selfies. Don't announce your growth. Let her see a door. Hear about it accidentally. If she messages you with something casual, "Hey, saw your post?" You don't fall back into the old dynamic. You respond like a man with nothing to prove. Traction that returns too easily fades just as quickly. Let it simmer. Let the contrast speak. Let your calm energy do the talking. The version of you that drew her in once, he wasn't desperate. He was grounded, confident, focused. So don't go back to him. Go beyond him. That's what Charles did. And when he looked her in the eye, smiled, and said, "Good to see you, Val," he didn't chase. He let the mystery linger. And she carried that feeling home. Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary and in few words. Epictetus. That's how attraction returns, not as noise, but as gravity. Part 4. Build curiosity. Most men chase attraction. Wise men build curiosity. Attraction catches her eye. Curiosity keeps her mind awake at 2 a.m. That's what makes her check your profile, reread old messages, and wonder, what is he doing now? Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." The moment you stop trying to control how she sees you, you become magnetic. Let's make it real. You used to text her every morning.
Double tap.
Her stories call when she seemed off, then silence. Now, the absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. The routine is gone, and it leaves behind a question. But here's the key. Curiosity only grows when you stay unpredictable. Don't post just to show off. Don't try to manufacture mystery. It's not Stoic, it's strategy disguised as desperation. Real mystery is subtle. You share less. You show more of your life, but less of your intent. Post a photo from a hike, no caption. A glimpse of a new project, no explanation. Let her wonder. The human mind hates open loops. When you stop reacting, stop orbiting, she starts guessing. And guessing leads to feeling. Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. So don't explain your change. Live it. Let her feel it when she realizes you're not watching her stories anymore, not liking her posts, not available on demand. This shift breaks the pattern. You were once predictable. Now you're the unexpected. When she reaches out with a soft "hey," you don't respond like before. You don't dive in. You let it breathe, because you're no longer performing. You're becoming. He who is not a slave to his emotions becomes a mystery to those who are. That mystery? That's what pulls her back without you saying a word. Part 5. Keep the emotional balance. The moment she finally reaches out, your heart races. Logic fades. The silence you worked so hard to master starts to crack. This is the moment where most men lose their edge, but you must hold the frame. Her message doesn't mean everything's fixed. It means one thing. She's curious. Testing the waters. And if you jump in too fast, too warm, too eager, she'll vanish again. What brought her back wasn't your effort. It was your calm, your stillness. Now you have to protect it. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." The same is true with attention. If she can shake your calm, she owns the frame. Let's look at Anthony, 58, divorced twice. He was seeing Karen. She asked for space, respected it, stayed silent, focused on himself. He started boxing again, rebuilt his routines. And when she messaged, "Hey, stranger," he didn't leap at the chance. He waited 6 hours, replied. Simply, "Hope you've been well." No punctuation, no emotional weight. And guess what? She followed up. Because she felt something knew his emotional strength. That's how you hold the frame. The Stoics called this apathy, not indifference. But mastery over your emotional response. It's not about being cold. It's about staying clear. Not every message deserves your full energy. She says, "I miss talking to you." Cool, but is she showing up consistently? Is she investing? Or just checking if the door is still open? Emotional balance means you don't overinvest just because she's come back. You let her reveal her true intention over time. Not with words, but with consistency. Seneca reminds us, "He who is brave is free." And bravery here means resisting the pull of instant connection. You listen, you observe, you mirror her pace, not out of fear, but strength. If she gives 50, you don't give 100. You match her level. You stay centered. And when she tries to stir emotion, questions the past, tests your loyalty, you don't get defensive. You stay grounded. You speak truth without trying to convince. She doesn't need you to crumble. She needs to feel you're unshakable. So next time she reaches out, don't just reply. Respond with clarity, patience, and purpose. That's emotional balance. That's your edge. Part 6. Let her prove her value. Here's a truth most men never hear. Her return isn't the reward. It's the beginning of her test, not yours. You did your part. You went silent. You focused. You didn't chase. Now she's curious again. That's fine, but curiosity isn't commitment. Her presence alone doesn't earn her a place in your life. This next phase isn't about winning her back. It's about watching how she shows up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you keep thinking you must earn her again, you'll remain stuck in that shade. Let me tell you about Jeff. After months of silence, his ex messaged, "Hey, I was thinking about you." No apology, no effort, just a feeler. The old Jeff would have jumped. But this time, he paused. He asked, "What am I getting in return?" Not bitterness, not ego, just standards. You see, a woman can say, "I miss you," but does she take accountability? Does she follow through? She's showing consistency, or just testing the waters. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." You don't have to declare your new standards. You live them. So when she reaches out, don't throw the door wide open. Ask yourself, is she investing? Or is she just circling back to see if you're still there? Slow the pace. Let her prove herself. Let her ask the questions. Her feel uncertain. Because the man you are now, he doesn't offer his peace to anyone who hasn't earned it. Real value isn't in what she says. It's in how she shows up day after day. If she flakes, disappears, or plays games again, call it. Not with anger, but clarity. You're not here to recycle the past. You're here to protect what you've built. Stoicism teaches us, virtue lives in action, not intention, if she wants. A second chance, let her feel the weight of earning it. And if she doesn't step up, then she was never meant for the man you've become. Part 7. Be the man she can't replace. Let's be clear. She doesn't miss the man who begged. She doesn't lose sleep over the one who folded, who made it easy, who dropped everything to earn her attention. She misses the man who grew in silence, the one who leveled up, the one who became someone she couldn't replicate, no matter who came next. That's your edge, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. It's not about the right words or perfect gestures. It's about becoming someone rare, grounded, unshakable, someone she simply can't find in the crowd. Take Brian at 51. His relationship ended because his partner felt she wasn't a priority. Instead of chasing, he went silent. Not to punish, but to reflect. And he realized he wasn't just too focused on work. He had lost himself trying to please. He skipped workouts, stopped seeing friends, abandoned the version of himself he once loved. So he rebuilt. 2 months later, they crossed paths at a wedding. He looked sharper. He stood taller. When she smiled at him, he didn't chase, said good to see you, and walked away. That's presence. It's impact. That's what lingers in her memory long after the night ends. You don't become unforgettable by doing more. You do it by becoming more. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The friction of silence, of letting go, molds you. And if she sees you again, let her feel the difference. Not through effort, through evolution. You're not here to convince her. You're here to become so grounded, so rare, she questions if she ever really saw you in the first place. That man, he's not chasing anyone. He's choosing who's worthy to stand beside him. Part 8. Stay in control of your emotions. Men don't break during the silence. They break the moment she becomes vulnerable. She says, "I miss you," or "I've been thinking about you." And instantly he melts. All the discipline, strength, and clarity go out the window. He caves. Too soon. He gives too much before she's truly earned her way back. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Control isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about choosing how and when it's expressed. Let's take Leon, 56, long-distance relationship. She said she needed space for family. He respected it. No messages. No guilt. 6 weeks later, she texts, "I miss how you made me feel." Old Leon would have spilled his heart. New Leon? He paused. He replied, "I'm glad you reached out. Let's talk soon." Simple, calm/centered. No pressure. No overinvestment. That's emotional control, Seneca said. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The fantasy of getting her back can blind you. Don't mistake her softness for a solution. She may reach out, she may cry, but that doesn't mean she's ready. It just means she's feeling something, and feelings pass. Control means holding your ground, not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself too. You don't match her emotion, you match her action. If she gives 60, you don't give 100. You let it build slowly, not break wide open. She might test you, bring up the past. Question your silence. You don't defend, you don't explain. Respond, not react. She needs to feel that you're no longer emotionally dependent, that you can feel deeply but still stand tall. That presence, that's what she trusts. That steadiness, that's what makes you rare. Part 9, create a vision she wants to be part of. By now, she may be curious. She may even feel a spark of attraction again. But that feeling fades unless there's something deeper pulling her in. That something isn't chemistry. It isn't memories. It's vision. A clear, steady direction led by a man who knows exactly where he's going. Not because he needs her, but because he's already moving. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Let's talk about Alan, 53, contractor. After a breakup, he didn't chase or spiral. He took inventory. Where am I headed with or without her? Within 3 months, he picked up 2 new projects. Started mentoring younger builders. Rejoined his men's hiking group. Didn't rebuild for her. He built momentum for himself. So when she reached out again, he didn't leap. He didn't try to recreate the past. He simply invited her to see where he was going. And what she saw was rare. A life already in motion. A man not waiting, not hoping, but becoming. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." If your only vision is to get her back, you shrink. But if your vision is bigger than her, she feels drawn into something real. So what does this look like? Start the business. Get your body and mind aligned. Reconnect with your brothers, your path, your purpose. Not to impress her, to become a man even you would follow. Because the man with a clear vision doesn't beg, he leads. And if she sees that vision, she won't feel needed. She'll feel invited. That's the difference. And that's what keeps her coming back. Part 10. Never forget your worth. Let's pause here. Forget what she said. Forget how often she texts. Forget the signs you're overanalyzing. None of it matters if you forget your worth. That's your anchor, your core, the line you do not cross on when she comes back crying. Yes, she might seem softer now, more loving, more open. But here's the trap. If her apology becomes your validation, you've already slipped. If her message determines your value, you've lost your center. Marcus Aurelius said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. You've already proven that, in silence, in restraint, in rebuilding yourself. Think of how far you've come. The moments you wanted to reach out but didn't. The days you sat in the quiet and chose strength instead of impulse. That effort wasn't for her. It was you remembering your own worth, maybe for the first time in years. And now that she's back, don't give that away. Worth is not arrogance. It's knowing you have something valuable to protect: your peace, your power, your purpose. She doesn't define that. Your boundaries do. Raymond, 59, retired law enforcement, rebuilt his life after she ghosted him. Months later, she came back, full apology, tears and all. And he replied, I don't make decisions based on emotion anymore. I take time now. That wasn't cold. That was growth. That was a man who knew the price of forgetting his value, Seneca said. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. The silence you endured shaped you. The space it refined you. So if she returns, see it clearly. Her presence isn't a prize. It's an invitation. And you decide if it aligns with the man you are, now not the man you were. Your worth isn't negotiable. It's not earned by attention. It's reflected in every boundary you hold and every silence you choose to protect.